Behold, SK8RBOi is back for our 10,000 subscribers celebration. Welcome everyone to the future of this channel. Today we are going to finish out this glorious, iconic playstyle together. SK8RBOi is basically a guerrilla warfare style playstyle where you use your warding halo and a bunch of slide and friction mods to make yourself go really fast and be really tanky, slam into enemies, whoosh right by them, and attack them in creative ways. You can move through the environment very fast simply by repeatedly tapping control, and it doesn't cost any energy, which is fantastic for moving around the plains at high speed. And you can protect your sentinel. Using the augment for warding halo, you will be able to cast it on your sentinel by backpedaling and looking up to the left. As you can see, I can eventually cast it on my sentinel. And because you're out on plains for a long time, taking lots of damage, keeping your sentinel alive can be challenging. There are lots of other things that you can add to this build because it's not very demanding, and that's actually one reason I wanted to recommend it for plains. You don't really need any particular kind of focus, you don't really need Xeneric especially because you're not very energy hungry. You can move really fast all the time for no cost, you can stay really tanky. Optimal builds for this setup do not require any new mods, so it's a fantastic way to start your experience out on the Plains of Eidolon. However, there are a few things that I want to finish up about this loadout. Let's talk a little bit about the weapons. The main thrust of the builds on my channel are Warframe weapon synergies. You know, weapons or builds that are specifically better when you use them with a certain warframe. People love that stuff, and I find it the most fun way to play this game. However, as much as I love this playstyle, it's not particularly rich with synergies to use in that way, and that's something that's bothered me for a long time. So today, we're going to hold a contest to find the most epic synergies to use along SK8RBOi. Now let me show you the classic one. There is something that I've been enjoying on SK8RBOi, and that is the explosive gas damage thrown weapon Javlock build. This has evolved a lot since its first inception. I'm going to talk about it, show you the builds for everything that I'm currently using, and we're going to discuss why this thrown mode Javlock is good for this playstyle specifically. It's basically because when you throw something really far away from you, and then you have no weapon because you've thrown it away, you want to be able to pick it up really quick so you can keep shooting. And SK8RBOi is really good at doing that. You can skate through big clusters of enemies, grab your weapon back real fast, and then continue fighting. And SK8RBOi is nice and safe, as well as nice and fast, while he does those things, without it costing very much energy. So let's take a look at these builds. The build for SK8RBOi himself is quite simple. Again, the only mods you really need for this playstyle are Maglev, Streamlined Form, and Cunning Drift. This will give you the highest possible ground butt scooting speed with your slide passive. And from there, you can kind of just build what you want. You could build a power strength build that nukes the room. You could build a firewalker build that runs around and puts circles everywhere. You can add a safeguard package with some armor, a bit of power strength, some efficiency, and then this safeguard augment, which will let you protect your sentinel, etc. I choose to use corrosive projection as my aura because my Javlock is not reducing armor in any other way. So go figure, but you can really use any aura you want. And of course, we have the Javlock, the thrown-only Javlock. Again, this is competent for shooting, but this build is focused on the throws. Multi-shot doesn't really do anything because you can't have more than one spear, so it doesn't add any damage. However, magazine increase does increase the damage of the throw. After a recent patch, the throw deals damage based on how many rounds are in the magazine when you throw it, so if you increase your magazine size, it actually does increase your damage by a lot. With Tainted Brag at rank 9 and Wildfire, your magazine goes up from 6 to 11, which almost doubles your damage on throws. Fantastic. On top of that, we have some gas damage. This means that the more enemies we hit, the more chances we have to proc gas, which will make more and more enemies take more and more damage. And Firestorm increases the likelihood that we'll hit lots of people. Point Strike and Vital Sense increase our good critical stats, and that's pretty much it. A very cheap and very fun build, and SK8RBOi is exceptionally good at picking up that Javlock once you've thrown it and you need to get it back. Taxon is really good because he spams molecular conversion on you while you are inside your halo. Since you can't refresh your halo if it's at low health, you have to find a way to survive once it goes down and not get like overkilled because you need to recast it. You can't refresh it while it's weak, you have to wait till it's gone. Taxon will accumulate overshields underneath your warding halo, and then when it goes down, you'll have a bit of a health buffer so you can recast it without just dying. Rhino has a similar problem, but he has an augment that lets him refresh his iron skin. Since we do not have the benefit of something like that, we have to improvise, and this is the best way I've found to do so. Otherwise, these are just good sentinel mods. I wouldn't really recommend Fired Up unless you're using N8 Forma Death Machine Rifle. This weapon has bad crits and bad status, but all sentinel weapons have relatively good damage if you increase their fire rate, so I definitely recommend it, and this is no exception. With a gigantic magazine and really good fire rate, this thing does put out quite a respectable amount of damage, especially with a Riven mod. And if you think 8 Forma is a lot to invest in a Sentinel weapon, consider that you can use this on every single Warframe you ever play. So that's the basic playstyle. Now, from here, I will need a bit of your help. This is where I'm going to ask you to give me your input. I want you all to tweet me your best suggestions for a synergistic, subjective build for SK8RBOi to use for a secondary or a melee weapon. Give me whatever weapon you want, what build you want to use on it. Feel free to give me a screenshot of a build if you like, and explain it in a very, very short paragraph, because you're not going to have very much space in a tweet. If you absolutely do not have Twitter, go ahead and use Discord, but that's not an excuse to make it really long. Remember, I've got to read through a lot of these, so make it short. And the 5 best suggestions will be winning 200 platinum each. I have been given 1,000 platinum to celebrate my milestone on my channel by Digital Extremes, so I want to thank them very quickly for that. That's really generous of them. And you all are going to benefit from it. Give me your best suggestions and win a glorious prize. So I'm very excited to hear your input as I have described. Check me out on Twitter, Twitch, Discord, and Patreon, which are all in the description. I hope you had a good time. Subscribe if you did, and I will see you all tomorrow.